Good afternoon, everyone in the chat. Welcome to Spike Kool-Aid for Tuesday, November the 15th. Can you believe we're halfway done with the month? We only got like 46 days left in the year, man. How crazy is that? So good afternoon, everyone. Hope everybody had a great morning and a great rest of your Monday, because I know I did. I know I did. So shout out to Dern. Dern says we here. What's up, Dern? We are here indeed, man. So listen, got a lot to talk about today. The Detroit Lions might have an even higher draft pick. We talked about yesterday how the Rams were going to be picking in the top 5 as of right now, and Cooper Kupp has a high ankle sprain and is actually going to have, they said a shoestring, a tightrope surgery, whatever that means. He's going to have that. And I told y'all before, man, that those high ankle sprains are no joke. So he's going to be out for quite some time. We also have to talk about the NFL power rankings. Now, the only ones that I follow is the NFL. I don't care about CBS Sports and The Athletic and none of them guys. I go to the horse's mouth, man. I go to the source, so I can, and I'll only go by theirs. It's just what I prefer to do, so that's what I want to do. What's going on, Nate and Leaf Roller? I need a leaf blower for my leaves outside, big dog. Man, oh man. But listen, the Detroit Lions also tried to put in a waiver claim for, apparently, according to PFF, the worst graded defensive tackle in the league over the last 4 years, but they missed out. The Las Vegas Raiders decided to pick him up. We are deep on that waiver claim now, so Josh Reynolds was our blessing from last year. Now, we got a lot to talk about today, man. I made a video. Let me go ahead and cue this up, because I made a video that, some of y'all was scoffing at, and some of y'all, had a little bit of hope. But this is the best way that I can explain it. So I'm going to let him do it for me.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Jersey, what's up, Jersey? I totally didn't expect you to be over here. I'm going to say something about your Eagles. It ain't going to be nice, but it ain't going to be mean. It's going to be more about my team. But the Detroit Lions made a video yesterday about the playoff implications. And a lot of people were like, I'll just be happy if we win a game. And I feel the same. However, the Philadelphia Eagles lost last night. They lost last night. Now, yeah, they got a little help from the NFL, but what team don't get a little help from the NFL? Speaking about help from the NFL, did y'all hear them Chicago Bears fans? It was ridiculous. All I've been seeing for the past 48 hours is whine. So many missed calls by the refs. Every Chicago Bears website, YouTube channel, the thumbnail and title was the same thing. Refs screwed us over. And I don't think that any team in the National Football League has more right to talk than the Detroit Lions channel. Detroit Lions fans, we know what we can go. This whole show could be about that. But, we not going to go there. We not going to go there. So listen. What's up, Patty? What's going on? Who's your gaddy? What's going on, bro? What is popping? Now, how y'all feeling 2 days after victory, man? Feels good, right? Feels good. Sick of losing. Tired of being at the bottom. And I want to come up. Right? Now, Brad Holmes, let's do this. It comes out yesterday, and this came out late in the day. My video was already made for Detroit Lions Syndicate at the time, but according to external websites, and I got a tweet from my guy, Mr. Poole, he actually told me about this before I saw it on the internet, that the Detroit Lions tried to pick up a defensive tackle by the name of Jerry Tillery. Now, according to Lions Wire, Jeff Risden, says the Detroit was one of 8 teams to place a waiver claim on former Chargers defensive tackle Jerry Tillery, who was waived over the weekend. Tillery is a 2019 first-round pick from Notre Dame who never panned out for the Chargers. I didn't even know he was a first-round pick. That means he was taken the same year T.J. Hockenson was traded. And I don't even know who this guy is. According to the article, Tillery is now a member of the Las Vegas Raiders. The 2-7 Raiders had the worst record among eight teams making the claim. Detroit is now 3-6 after winning 2 in a row. So had we lost those 2 or been 2-7, we might have had a better chance. But it doesn't really matter. The NFL's waiver wire is based on the inverse order of records, meaning the team with the worst record gets priority. Well, we knew that. Now, here's the part that you may not have known. Lions fans probably shouldn't sweat missing out on Tillery, who has been the worst defensive tackle in the NFL over the last 4 years per Pro Football Focus grading. Now, I don't think that's going to matter. He wasn't going to come in and change anything about the Detroit Lions defensive line. But what this does tell me is that Brad Holmes tried to do something, anything to spruce it up. So why did I bring up playoffs? Why I've been talking about staying in the season? This guy, okay, is a former first-round pick. Can anybody in the chat tell me where he was taken? Because I don't know. Let me see if Siri knows. Hey, Siri. Where was Jerry Tillery taken? Okay. Where was Jerry Tillery taken in the NFL draft?
Here's what I found.
Let me see. When was he taken? She usually tell me, but she tripping today. Anybody know? Anybody know? Got to be, nobody remembers. I have no idea. I don't even remember the brother coming out. I don't even remember his name. But what that does tell me is that Brad Holmes was trying to make some move. Why? Because we're still in the season. Jersey says Siri, she didn't know either. Yeah, that's how irrelevant he was. Mackenzie says got to be in the 20s. Jake says all I want to hear is we're shooting for the playoffs. And I think that's a reasonable goal. I really do. I don't think that these guys they'll never come out and say it. The coaches will never say it. The players, you might hear it kind of rumbling a little bit. The coaches will never say that. But I think right now that's got to be our goal. That's got to be our goal. Now, we didn't get any help. Over the weekend. We needed the Cowboys to win. They didn't. We needed the Eagles to win. They didn't. We needed the Chargers to win, and they didn't. But that's why you have to take care of your business. You have to handle business in-house. But Jerry Tillery, a flameout, pretty much in the 2019 NFL draft. Now listen, this is how bad this guy was. First-round picks get fifth-year options. This guy didn't even make it with his original team before year 5. Now, we've seen Daniel Jones' option didn't get picked up. We've seen Josh Jacobs, his option was also not picked up. But to get waived or cut by your team and you're in the middle, like still on your rookie deal, that means you are bad. Jake says he was 28th overall. So we're giving out our first air horn of the day because somebody said it's got to be 20s. Who was that? Dern said 16th. Mackenzie said got to be in the 20s. So he get the air horn of the day. Our first air horn of the day. Baker on the same thing. Absolutely. Baker, first overall pick. Yep, you're right. You're right. But Baker, he was the first overall pick in what, 17, 18, somewhere around there? So let me know in the comments below, man. What does the Detroit Lions trying to get Jerry Tillery off the waiver wire mean to you for the rest of this year? It means something. Obviously, I'm looking at what we don't see. Obviously, we needed help at defensive tackle. Obviously, right? He feels a void. But why? Why try to do this? Jake says depth. Possibly. Does this sound like a team who's given up on the season? It does not to me. So why should we? So shout out to everybody. I feel a little better today. Yesterday had a little tough time streaming on my other channel, man. Bunch of drama. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand it. But I got work to do. Who's Your Gaddy says, I think it means our coaches want to win. I think that's what that means too. And I wanted to ask y'all, like, wow, right now here is the playoff picture. You ready? Went to the NFL website, and they got all 7 teams in each conference all ready to go. And I'm not going to lie, I want to be in here. I want to be in here. Let's fade this so y'all can see it. I want to be in here. I don't care where we are. I want to see the Lions symbol, the Lions logo in here. All right? So let's not quit on the season, because that ain't a thing to me. You know, we'll leave that up there, man. That way people can follow me on Twitter. My Twitter presence can grow, and maybe I can get a check mark that I don't pay for. What's up with the paid for check marks, man? What we'll be doing here? Twitter blue, is that what that is? Elon Musk, what's going on, bro? He is about to destroy Twitter. Sir Ken says yesterday was trash grid. I'm hoping today is a new day. That's all facts, bro. SW Lion says they're definitely not giving up on the season. Lion, and I think neither should we. I know I made a, I saw your comment yesterday, and it's cool. So like, simmer down, young man, simmer down. And but I responded, and you responded as well. I like to stay in the season because, to me, that's what it's all about. Mock drafts and all that stuff, we have plenty of time to speculate, and I'd rather be invested fully in the season than checking out, because checking out sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't have it both ways, and that's what I was saying yesterday in yesterday's show. We can't have it both ways. We can't be mad, because 3-6 is a whole lot better than 1-8. 1-8 screams first round, first overall pick. Now, I'm not opposed to a man crying. I have no issue with that. I'm a sensitive guy. You know what I'm saying? I cry over movies all the time. All the time. Don't mean I can't handle my business. Believe that. But Derek Carr was up on the podium crying and fighting back tears because he's tired of losing. His team, with probably the best wide receiver in the game coming into the year, now you got to get that to Justin Jefferson, in my opinion. Maybe that was Aaron Rodgers, but we're going to see. Has yet to really pan out over there. He's crying because they're 2-7. 2-7. That's what that feels like. So why are we going to check out of the season when we have plenty of time to turn this thing around? Jersey says they shouldn't give up. I think y'all can make a push. Jersey, I appreciate that. I really do. Now, how about this? The Eagles yesterday, and we'll talk more about Cooper Kupp and the Rams later in the segments. But the Eagles yesterday suffered a loss, but they still have the first seed because of that victory over Minnesota. Minnesota, so they're a half game ahead of the Minnesota Vikings. Had they lost to the Minnesota Vikings, of course, Minnesota would be 9-0, and they would be the undefeated team in the league. But Minnesota's got away with a lot of squeaky games. In no way, shape, or form should they have won on Sunday, but they did. They absolutely did. Yeah, Jake, we talked about that yesterday. Aubrey Pleasant is to the Packers. That was 100% intentional. However, he does have a history with Matt LaFleur, so, I guess we could chuck it up to old friends. 100%. SW says, I feel bad for the Raiders players and fans. I think Josh McDaniels is doing to the team what Matt Patricia did to the Lions. Bro, that's facts. That is facts. And they hired him, though. I don't understand that. You didn't see the signs from what he did in Denver, and then he was supposed to take another coaching job and flaked on it. That was a horrible decision, but, it's one that they made. So But something happened today, and I haven't seen these. So I'm going to watch. We're going to find out together, okay? Because I have not seen this. Usually on Tuesdays, I'll look at this and see. But because it hasn't been a thing, our team has been losing up until late. I haven't really cared. But the NFL power rankings, trying to see how big of a jump that we've made when it comes to the NFL power rankings, because we got as high as 16 and then we fell and got as low as I remember from NFL.com. We got as low as like 30 or 31. So I have not seen these. I'm going to see these for the first time with you, okay? And see where the Detroit Lions, it's not like it matters, but sometimes I wonder what they think of our team. So, okay, right now the Houston Texans are 32. The Carolina Panthers are 31. All right, so that's good to know. That seems fair. The Denver Broncos are 26. Wow. 26 for the Denver Broncos. Broncos country. Let's ride. The Las Vegas Raiders, 29. Yeesh. Jacksonville Jaguars, but they're going to be a good team. Their rebuild is past ours. That's what they said. Number 28. The Indianapolis Colts, with 37-year-old quarterback getting the biggest scramble of his career on Sunday. 33 yards. The biggest scramble of Matt Ryan's career came at 37. He almost ran as many yards as his age. The Los Angeles Rams second air horn of the day, because that's music to my ears. Number 26. The Pittsburgh Steelers, number 25. The Cleveland Browns, number 24. The New Orleans Saints, we just keep going, man. Number 23. The Atlanta Falcons, number 22. And number 21, jumping up 8 spots. Let's give it up for the Detroit Lions. 21. According to Dan Hazes, he says, are the Lions putting it together? Question mark. Detroit did something unprecedented in the Dan Campbell era on Sunday. It won a game outside of Ford Field. The 30-31 victory over the Bears, the Lions' second straight after a 5-game skid, was especially encouraging because it was the struggling defense that really stepped up. Jeff Okudah put Detroit even with a dramatic pick six in the fourth quarter, and a host of defenders swarmed a red-hot Justin Fields for the defensive sack on fourth down in the final minutes. You want to learn to win close games. You win in close games, Campbell said. That's 2 now. Well, we jumped up 8 spots from 29 to 21. Well. And Nick says the Chicago Bears are 20. Well, you know what? We go from air horn to another sound that's just straight garbage. They still ain't putting the correct. How they move up? They moved up. The Bears moved. Come on, bruh. You lose. You blow a 14-point lead to a team that you were supposed to beat. That's what they said. And you move. I tell you, I've never understood these power rankings. Ridiculous. So what do you guys think, man? Detroit moves up 8 spots from 29 to 21. And I'll tell you what, if the New York Giants, if we beat the Giants, one game at a time, but if we beat the New York Giants, I've been hearing a lot of creators say that's when they'll start saying the P word. They'll start whispering the P word if we beat the Giants and move to 4-6. Man, oh man, it feels a lot different talking about making 3 games in a row, doesn't it, than talking about Bryce Young, who, by the way, we're not getting anymore. But let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think? NFL Power Rankings. Do you agree with the Lions' position? Man, oh man, I'm telling you guys what. Feels good. 8 spots. I'll take those 8 spots, Nick, to the Bears 1. I'll take that 100%. Gaddy says power rankings don't make sense sometimes. The whole concept is your performance that week. Yeah. Yeah, speaking of performance that week, I got to believe that the Chiefs have to be number one. The Chiefs have to be number one, and the Eagles are still number one. Even with the spot, they didn't move. Kansas City actually went up 1. Minnesota went up 4. Listen, the Vikings, they got an L coming. Mm-hmm. And isn't it kind of crazy that the monster game that Justin Jefferson had on Sunday, Jeff Okudah held that brother to 14 yards, man. That's crazy. Now that's favoritism, how the Packers move up in the power rankings. Let me see, where Big Head at? Where Mars Attack? Mars Attack is where? Yep, they higher than us. They got a better record. I'll take that. They moved up 6. Well, they did beat the Dallas Cowboys. And Dallas was supposed to be, Dallas still stinks. They were supposed to be high. But, we'll see. SW says, Philadelphia, Minnesota, Dolphins, Seahawks, 4 games they had a chance of winning. What they've done the last 2 makes the plays in the clutch they weren't doing before. Hey, that's facts. And that's what it takes, Lion. That's what it takes. Maybe it took this team 7 games to get it together. Maybe it did. Because the first 4 games, we lost the Eagles, and I think it was 3 games. We lost by 10 points. We lost the Eagles, the Vikings, and the Seahawks by a combined 10 points. And we should have won the Minnesota Vikings game was on Dan Campbell, right? So let's just, and that's why I like to stay in the season, man, because we got a lot of football left. We got a lot of football left. And the fact that we've moved up as high as we have, that's insane. We will take it. Elevated says, Lions pop the Bills coming in dragging their feet. They try to turn it on late. We should be 5-4. Nick, that's a fair assessment, bro. That's a fair assessment. We could tack on the Minnesota Vikings, and we could tack on another game as well. Now listen. Yeah, Zay, that's actually going to be my NFL segment today. They did very well on the channel yesterday. Got 30-something views. Had made a video in almost a month. So that's going to be going my NFL. Yes, we're going to talk about that. But Cooper Kupp, man, big deal. That is not only is that Matthew Stafford's favorite target, it's his only target. It's his only target. I mean, facts, 100%. And we talked about the Rams' potential to go 5-12, 6-11. They could go worse than that. They could go worse than that. Wow. I saw that Goddard get hurt last night. Okay, but his shoulder, it must be pretty bad. They said he's not going to miss the rest of the season, but he's going to be out for a little while. Now, the reason that I brought up playoffs when we first started the show is because not only are, you have to turn it on near the end. It's not how you start, it's how you finish, right? How you finish. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. We've been begging for meaningful football this time of year, and we have it. We have it. What's up, Joseph? Says the Lions out the turn. Wait, turns out the Lions have played a tough schedule thus far. Yeah, they have. But we've been looking and praying for meaningful football in the month of December, right? Am I not telling the truth? And we have that. We have that. Brad had to know. Zay, you've been dropping some dimes lately, bro. Brad had to know the Rams were on the decline. That's why he took their deal, and it was the best package for Stafford. Well, that's facts. I believe the latter for sure. And even the former. He probably did know that. But the Rams accomplished their goal. They got what they wanted. So it all worked out. Now, that one-hit wonder that is the LA Rams could translate for us via the picks to a sustainable success, something we haven't had for a long time. We haven't had that for a long time. We haven't made the playoffs 2 years in a row. When was the last time the Lions made the playoffs 2 years in a row? I need somebody. You know how Matt Derry has a crack staff or expert who does research. Somebody, I need one of those guys. Joseph says both teams won the trade. I agree. The Super Bowl made it where that's a fact. Man, we haven't won a playoff game in over 30 years. Yep. This year was year number 30. We're going on 31. But the reason I brought up the playoffs is because it's not how you start, it's how you finish, right? And this season is the wonkiest season that I've ever seen. Good team. The Super Bowl champions are picking in the top 10. The Cincinnati Bengals started 0-2. The Tennessee Titans have, what are they on, a 5 or 6 game run now? They started 0-2, won the next 5 straight for sure. I'm telling you. Nick says 93, 94, 95. There you go. There you go. So it's been, 27 years. 27 years since the last time we've had it, and we made 3 years in a row. That is fantastic. Wow. So 90, 94, 95. I started watching the Lions in 1998. So you remember that. Right? But don't forget, y'all. What's up, KD? Don't forget that the Lions were without a lot of our guys. Aiden Hutchinson starting to come into his own, right? Kaminsky's back. Pascal's is definitely making an impact. We didn't see a lot of gaudy numbers on Sunday, but he made an impact for sure. He was chasing downfields a couple times. DJ Chark, for what it's worth, I mean, he still got some time to prove himself, right? He should be off IR this week. And you know what? We haven't talked about this guy in a week or two. And I'm sorry, y'all, but we're going to keep talking about him. We're going to keep talking about him. All right? Now, check this out. Before we do that, the Detroit Lions coming into Sunday's game were something that I didn't even know. We had the 4th rated offense in the red zone. We score 71% of the time in the red zone. This and listen, y'all, I'm starting to get a little excited. Now listen, I don't want y'all, I am not a Kool-Aid peddler. I don't pump I don't pump you up with Kool-Aid. But when it comes to numbers, I love this. I love this. Now, your whole life you could go and say shoulda, coulda, what if, right? What if you made a left instead of a right? What if you went here instead of going there and missed out on your future spouse? We can do that, right? But I think some things, when it comes to numbers, we really can look at and say, man, you know what? There might be some logic to that. I want to ask you guys a question, since it's a safe place here for now. It's a safe place. And this is will be great when the phone lines open, because I get to hear you speak it. And that way you don't have to type it. But let me ask y'all a question. All right? Based on the current state of the NFL, Cynthia Vreeland is an SOL fan. I can't believe she's a fan of the Lions, period. I think she's from here. But based on the current state of the NFL, right? And what you've seen from the Lions the first 9 weeks of the season to the halfway point, why do you think they could or could not make the playoffs? Right? Because we shouldn't beat the Bills? Because we shouldn't beat the Giants? If Jersey is still here, I'm not trying to rag on her team, but the Philadelphia Eagles lost yesterday to a team we beat. Now, granted, we've played against Carson Wentz. Holds the ball longer than any other quarterback in the league up until he went out. But Heineke ain't the GOAT now. So, Lions fans in the chat, I see you, Jersey. Not trying to pick on your team, just trying to use some logic. why can't the Lions make the playoffs? Softest roughing the passer call ever. Yeah, hey, listen. I tweeted it out today that the NFL did not want the Eagles to go undefeated. That's it. They wanted them to lose yesterday. I told you. The parity has to stay, which is another reason why the Detroit Lions are not out this thing. Okay, Zay says because they put themselves into a big hole. Hey, Jersey, Washington has done that the past couple of years. They upset the Steelers, and now they upset y'all. Zay says, in his opinion. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But the team, let's look back here. And this is when I bring up the logic about shoulda, coulda, woulda, how it's hard to, you can't shoulda, coulda, woulda life, right? Straight Kool-Aid. Yeah, Spike Kool-Aid. And that's why it's called Spike Kool-Aid. Lion, that's why it's called that. But listen. Let me just ask y'all, because I don't want you to don't sip on the Spike Kool-Aid. I'm putting straight Kool-Aid in your glass right now. But it tastes real good. Sugar, nice sugar water balance, right? Okay. Now Zay is, I think, on to something. Zay is that he's that middle ground. He says they have to win against the Giants, then the Bills. Two teams with winning records, by the way, because the Lions have not done that this season, to make it more probable. Okay? So, Zay, let's entertain that real quick. They do that. I think they have a really good chance, too. Okay? They do that. Okay? They're 5-6. 5-6. When you start to look at wait a minute, if this would have happened. If you look at wait a minute, Dan Campbell with some decent play calling. Look at what Jamal Williams did on Sunday. It was a 3rd down and 7 or 9, somewhere around there. And the brother got all the yards he needed, got contacted behind the line, and got it. Now the Lions maybe take a field goal. Now we're kicking the ball off. Maybe a decent return. Maybe we get the Minnesota Vikings all over again. Right? Lions says, Lions beat the Giants and Bills, that would be quite a feat. Yes, it would, because they have not beat a team with a winning record this year. Nick says just beat the NFC teams. That's also likely. Michael comes in. What's up, Mike? Good to see you, my friend. Says, I think they beat the Giants by a nice margin, honestly. 34-14, call me crazy. I'm not going to call you crazy because I've seen stranger things. I've seen that we had the number 1 offense in the league the first 4 weeks of the season. We could not close out any games. We should have won. We should have won in week 3. We were 1-1 heading into Minnesota. Unlike last year when the Justin Tucker 66-yard record-setting field goal broke us, okay? We had a chance to be tied with the Ravens. We would have had the same record. Both teams would have been 1-1. Now, the Raiders wind up missing out on the playoffs because of their idiotic coach and his decisions at the time. Right? But we are, would y'all say, maybe 4 plays from being 5-4 or 6-3. Right? And I agree with y'all. I agree that to have this is my logic. I had us exactly where we are. The only difference that I had was if you flip-flop the Seattle and Green Bay game, this is exactly where I had us. And after we get through the Giants and, listen to what I'm saying, y'all. After we get through the Giants and Bills, we then play the Jacksonville Jaguars, who is official, is not a good team. They are not a good team. Not a good team at all. They fooled everybody at the beginning. Now I understand that this is my logic and this is the way I think, right? And this is what keeps me going. Because I don't know about y'all, but being 1-8 is miserable. Having a local Detroit artist celebrate the first win of the season by writing a rap song is miserable. It was hilarious, but it's miserable. Having the national media talk about us when we won our first game like we won a Super Bowl is miserable. But talking about the playoffs in week 10 or 11 is fantastic. As unlikely as it may seem, I will take it all day of the week. You know why? Because we got all the time in the world to talk about who the Lions should take. We got all the time to hear Todd McShay, Mel Kiper, Peter King, and the rest of them. All the time. Now, bring it back to this year. Teams that you thought were good or past us, not so much anymore. The Jacksonville Jaguars officially have a worse record than we do. They have not won a game in forever. Last I remember, they were 2-1. They are 2-7, 6-game losing streak. We are on a 2-game winning streak. Now, I do believe that these next 2 games are critical. They make the last stretch easier. I had us 2-2 ending November, and the gauntlet begins where we got to put a bunch of them together, right? Now, if we win, listen, Lions says if we win these next 2 games, that would be amazing. It would be, because both of those teams have winning records. Both of those teams are at least 3 games over 500. That would be a colossal feat. And at that point, we're talking about 5-6, and we're coming now. Now we're coming. Zay says, Nate, I see you, bro. Says we have to win one of the next 2 at least. I agree. If we go into December 4-7, 5-6 would be fantastic. Could y'all imagine 5-6 going to play the Jaguars? 500 looking real good. Looking real good, man. With 5 games left, right? But if we split, which I have a feeling we could. It's weird, man. I'm like in thirds. My mental is in thirds. I'm like, third of me says we can split. A third of me says we can win both of these. And then the third of me is saying we can lose both. The scenario we have to avoid is losing both. Losing both puts us at 3-8, and it's all but lost. Yes, even with 6 games left, it's all but lost. We have to win one of these next 2 games. Speaking of that, today, I think it either drops today or Thursday. The playoff machine is out. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't want to hear playoffs, you in the wrong chat. Like, I'm serious. It's not about will we make it. It's about can we make it. Who thought at this point our pick from the Rams would be higher than ours? Nobody. Michael, especially coming off a Super Bowl win. There's nobody that thought that. Who also thought the Lions would go on a 5-game losing streak to start, in this year. Nobody thought that either. But if you look at the NFL this season, you look at the parity. The last undefeated team was knocked off yesterday by a team who was 4-5. Reminds you, we came back against that very team. Who knows if Aiden Hutchinson was not a rookie? Who knows? Amon-Ra St. Brown missed the game. DeAndre Swift still has not put in 100%. Yes, Zay, they sure did. They sure did. I know they started 1-something. They went on a 7-game winning streak and missed the playoffs, and Brian Flores was fired. Brian Flores. So listen, I am not trying to pump you up. I just want you to stay with me in the season, because I'm very aware that the next 2 games are okay. These next 2 games are the make and break of the season. We have to split. Because there's no way we're going to win the rest of them. We're going to win out. That's not going to happen. We got to split. Now, the reason that I'm talking about this is because Josh Reynolds, shout out to Orlando because I was just about to bring that out. Josh Reynolds, DJ Chark, and Jamison Williams, who, according to Mr. Poole, sent me a tweet yesterday. Shout out to Mr. Poole. And we'll do this. This will be our second to last segment because I got to make sure I get my butt off today. Yesterday I was running my mouth. According to the rumor mill, that's heating up. Jamison Williams is ready to get out there. He is itching and scratching to get out there, okay? And according to Mr. Poole, letting me know yesterday, all right, says the chatter around Allen Park, J-Mo is insistent on his return clock starting this week. If Chark and Reynolds return to practices as well, reason being he wants to take reps with the starters to build chemistry. Let's go. Does that, you see what I'm saying, y'all? Y'all see what I'm saying, man? Our team wants to win. Support your team. Stop all this. Bryce Young is not a Lion. Will Anderson is not a Lion. Jamison Williams is a Lion. Come on, man. Insistent on his clock starting. The brother wants to play. We've been saying that for weeks. I told y'all I think he was ready to play 2 months ago. KD says this Kool-Aid is getting really hard not to drink. You know what, KD? That's facts. But I will say this. I'm only talking playoffs because of the numbers. Because right now, it's a thing. At 3-8, it's less. It's almost impossible. At 4-7 or 5-6, it is highly possible. Solomon says Chark coming back with a vengeance. He better. Solomon, he better. He's getting paid to not be on this team for the next 2 years. So he better give us all he got for the last 8 games of the season. He should come off of IR this week, which also could mean that there is a possibility. Now, just read what I said, or listen, because we do know that DJ Chark is coming off this week. Josh Reynolds, he should be coming off real soon. He never was placed on IR. They just been holding out. St. Brown, Josh Reynolds, who a lot of us tried to cast off, DJ Chark giving us a little something, and Jamison Williams, bruh, come on, man. I'm getting giddy just think about it. And he don't. Jamison Williams doesn't have to be a man. And listen, DeAndre Swift, give us a little bit. Come on, man. Come on, bro. We already said that the offense was going to have to carry this defense. And I'm just saying that pumping up, if we can beat both of these teams or even one and go into December 4-7 with the possibility of Jamison Williams coming back, even at 50%, defenses are going to game plan differently. Kirby Joseph is starting to come up. Jeff Okuda starting to come up. Man, oh man. Zay says, Amon will eat the middle, J-Mo will shift and dictate defenses. They will be a great receiving duo. Let's not disregard Josh Reynolds now. We've completely missed him. I'm telling you, it's not over yet, but we keep talking about it. And why does J-Mo wants to come back? He want to come back to build chemistry. Because guess what? He's not done. Did you see the smile on his face in Jeff Okuda's Instagram story or whatever it was? I'm telling you, we should be excited. We should be excited. I'm not saying be overexcited. I'm not saying go buy your playoff ticket. I'm saying with this year and the way it's been going, the fact that we haven't even seen our offense at 100%, and the fact that we got a great wide receiver who can play, by the way. He's not limping on a cane and all that stuff. The Lions, here's what I think they're trying to do. I think they'll never say this, right? You'll never hear Dan Campbell say it. The players might start to whisper it, but let them beat one of these two teams. Let them go into December 4-7. And this is what I think they're trying to do. And this might be the case with Swift as well. So I'm going to throw Swift in here as well. What the Lions are trying to do, they're trying to win both these games. Worst case scenario, they want to split because they'll never tell you. They'll never say it. Dan Campbell will never say this. Going into December, 2 games in January. We got 6 left, right? We head into December football, meaningful football in December. We head into December with a healthy Jameson Williams, even at 50%. Josh Reynolds, DJ Chark, give me what you got. DeAndre Swift, St. Brown. Oh, man. Defense is still going to be what it be, but we ain't talking about the defense right now. We talking about putting up points. And watch Jared Goff flourish. I'm telling you. But Jameson Williams, according to chatter around Allen Park, is insistent that his return clock starts this week if Chark and Reynolds return to practice because he wants to build chemistry with the starters because he wants to go into December against the Jacksonville Jaguars on fire. Man, your boy got goosebumps. I'm not going to lie. I got goosebumps because thanks to the offense, the defense, and this Lions team never giving up, we're not out this thing. Man, oh man. Whew. If only they could win one of these 2 games, we will be playing meaning. Can y'all, wait, am I saying this? Am I really saying this? This team was 1-6, and we are possibly playing meaningful football in December. We got to split. We have to split with the next 2. We got to go worst case scenario 4-7. And we're playing meaningful football in December. Unreal. Man. Whoo. Hey, and listen, this ain't Kool-Aid, y'all. This is not Kool-Aid. Nick says J-Mo would have taken that Kennedy catch to the crib. Oh, yeah. He would have put the burners on. All right, now, Jay says, you think if they win 2 straight, they'll bring Jameson back first week in December? All right, I want y'all to remember. Let's take it back. Let's take it back. Jameson Williams needs to be cleared to practice. After that happens, add 2, probably 3 games. So whenever you have a question about Jameson Williams or any receiver coming off IR, I mean, even DJ Chark, we're not going to see DJ Chark until December as well. If you go on IR, you're essentially missing 7 weeks. Cooper Kupp going to IR probably won't play again if the Rams are not in the postseason hunt. And we'll go into our last segment. So just add 2 to 3 weeks to his. That's why he wants to build that chemistry, because you're not going to see. Bro, if we can beat the Bills or the Giants, we will not have Chark or J-Mo. There's possibly we could have Josh Reynolds. If we could beat one of these 2 teams, have the 10-day break. So listen, in order for Jameson Williams to come back on the 4th, we have to hear something this week. We have a 10-day window after the Thanksgiving game. A 10-day break. All right? So, it's hard not to get excited. But I think we have a legitimate reason to be excited. 100%. I think it's, I think it's going to be legit, man. All right, so we'll wrap this up. Last segment of the day. Now, we've been talking about this in and out throughout the show today about the LA Rams and where they're going to pick. So that pick will go to the Detroit Lions. And right now, they're picking 5th in the 2023 NFL Draft. Now, best case scenario for me, this was before we got the word about Cooper Kupp, that they were going to go 5-12, maybe 6-11. But now coming out of the NFL hours ago, Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford's favorite target, and a huge chunk of their offense is going to have surgery. They called it a tightrope surgery, and he will be placed on IR. Now, we're talking about, this is from Sean McVay, and this was from today, about the injury. It's significant. McVay told reporters Tuesday. But what we got to be able to do is say, all right, let's put our heads together. Let's figure out who we're playing with. You know, what do those guys do well? I'm sorry. Shouldn't you already know that? McVay, the greatest coach in mind since Bill Belichick? I'm sorry. Now, according to the report, says the tightrope surgery meant to stabilize the ankle usually comes with a 4 to 6 week recovery. By that point, the reigning Super Bowl champ season might be kaput. And I was just saying that. You're talking about basically the end of the season. There's no way Cooper Kupp is going to come back off a tightrope surgery, high ankle sprain, with 2 weeks left in the season, unless they're making a run. That's it. But that's a huge blow for the LA Rams. And I don't like to see anyone get hurt. That is a giant blow. And I think it's safe to say, y'all, that the LA Rams, not only will they not repeat, they're not even going to make the playoffs. But you know, the funny thing is, if you look at the Super Bowl hangover, a lot of teams who win the Super Bowl the year before don't even make the playoffs the next year. It's almost like a statistical fact that if you won the Super Bowl the year before, neither the Super Bowl nor the runner-up makes the playoffs. That's how big of a fall off it's going to be. It usually is. No Odell Beckham, no Von Miller. Not sure what Aaron Donald is doing. Not sure if Cam Akers is even playing. And now Cooper Kupp goes down. You got rid of Robert Woods. Allen Robinson is pretty much a non-factor. Van Jefferson, I don't know what any of these guys are doing. What I do know is that Matthew Stafford's favorite target, and sometimes seems like only target, is Cooper Kupp. And if Ben Skoranek has more receiving yards than Allen Robinson, that's a problem. Patty says, wouldn't it be funny if both Super Bowl don't make the playoffs? Well, right now, I think the Bengals have a much better chance because Jamar Chase, they're like holding steady. And if you think about it, y'all, Jamar Chase was 7 weeks out from his injury as well. Nick said, I said at the beginning of the season they were going to miss the playoffs. Well, Nick, you probably are right, man. And you can just base that off just the history of what happens in the league to the team that wins the Super Bowl. It is like a historic thing. KD3 says, Aaron Donald is currently putting up the same numbers as Hutch. Good numbers for Hutch, not the best for Aaron. I wonder what it is, y'all. What do you think it is as to why Super Bowl winning teams fall off? Which now, the more you think about it, the more impressive it was for the Kansas City Chiefs to get there back-to-back. You saw how difficult it was for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to get back. They almost did it, but it was tough for them to get back. As a matter of fact, just off the top of my head, outside of the 04-05 Patriots, what team other than Kansas City has made it back-to-back? Like, that is tough. Zay says, it's hard to maintain every player. Lost, that's right. Whitworth, he retired. OBJ, Von Miller, those are big names. That's facts. Yeah, Jay says Bills, Minnesota. But neither of them won, right? I know the 4 falls. That's ridiculous. That's just insane. How you make it 4 times? You you have like a 25% chance to win at least one, and you don't win at least one. So if you are a Rams fan watching this on playback, how are you feeling about your team right now? Same record as the Detroit Lions. And your star wide receiver, Matthew Stafford's favorite target, is out. And if Stafford does come back, how good is he going to be without Cooper Kupp? I don't want to see anybody get hurt. And inside, I'm not, happy about this at all. It's a brutal sport. People get hurt and, it sucks. But, man, it's got to be tough for you guys. But at least you got that chip last year. Let me know what you think. Yeah, all that stuff for Stafford I went through last year. I would never want to see injury on any person. It's just mean, just evil to wish that. He went out there, did his thing, got his chip. And, wow, the fall off, though. The fall off for the Rams seems unprecedented to me. Real talk. So, yeah, guys, I don't know what's going to happen with them. Katie says, bought the title last year, and now you got to pay for it. Bro, that is fantastic. I love that. Absolutely love that. SW Lion, obviously talking about 1 out of 2, I think is realistic. Possible getting the next 2 would be unbelievable. We talking about the Bills there or the Lions in the last 2 games? So listen, again, not trying to pump your heads. We got a big task in front of us coming up this week. Saquon Barkley, got to contain him. I think if we do that, we can win. And do we get Josh Reynolds back? Will Swift play more of a role? How healthy is St. Brown? But these guys, bro, Kennedy, Raymond, and shout out to Jamal Williams, man, doing his thing. I think, my honest opinion, is that the Bills, both of these teams are vulnerable. I think the Bills are super vulnerable, and we got to watch what happens this coming week. I also think we play them at home, and even though we have not won on Thanksgiving, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, if the Lions can win 1 or 2 of these games, they're going to be a scary team. They're going to be the team nobody wants to play. Yes, with the worst defense in the league. They're going to be a team that nobody wants to play. Even if we drop 1, we're going to be 3-1. Jameson Williams potentially coming back. Chark, Swift healthy. Remember, guys, we had the number 1 offense without Jameson Williams. We haven't won on Thanksgiving in a long time, and we're due for one. And the Bills are a vulnerable team. If we can beat them, the high-flying, Super Bowl contending Buffalo Bills, the Lions, they're going to be a scary team. Thank you guys for tuning in to the show. Shout out to everybody, man. I will see you guys tomorrow.